Welcome back, prickly people. I'm Aquatic Cactus, and today we are doing more work on the hardcore Minecraft survival world. We are laying the foundation for an automatic food farm, and the food that we chose was cooked pork chops. Cooked pork chops are the second best food source in the game, but there's only a handful of sources of them, mainly pigs and hoglins. Hoglins are much easier to farm than pigs are, so that's the choice that we ended up going with. But there were a few things that we needed in order to continue on our hoglin build. That being said, today's video is about harvesting amethyst shards and what is the best way to go about making tinted glass, as we thought we were going to need a pretty significant amount. That turned out not to be the case, but we learned a lot of things about it, and tinted glass is a cool block anyways. So for the aesthetic, let's carry on and figure out how Cactus farms tinted glass. Okay, let's head back to home base. We need a tree farm. First things first, we're going to need to redo our to-do list. So we're almost done with dyes. Hoglin food farm is something we can do very, very quickly. They're not difficult at all, and we could set one up really quick. Yeah, Editor Cactus here, and I don't know why Live Cactus thought that hoglin food farms were gonna be quick. Live Cactus seemed to think that we were going to do a practical hoglin food farm. And if you guys have been watching so far, practical is rarely what I go for in terms of what I build. That being said, a quick hoglin food farm is 6.5 hours of footage I'm editing down to make this video. It's probably going to be 4 or 5 different videos. Here we go. Back to the farm. Hey, let's check out this portal-based hoglin farm. I probably won't need it to be as outrageously large as this, but that's probably going to stop me from building it this large anyways. Ended. Oh my god. It's all tinted. Oh my. Okay. See if we can't mine some of these out with fortune. Is this fortune or silk touch? Fortune. I'm gonna try and set up an automatic piston farming setup, so I can set this up on a timer. Set it up on a hopper clock. Ooh, that's gonna get in the way. Shouldn't really. Okay, can I catch that hitbox? Yeah, we can. I can get that one too. The other ones I can grab. This one from right above. This one from right above. That's annoying. I wonder, since we're not going to be farming the top buds, that maybe we can find a way to push that out. Easiest way is going to be a series of observers, I think. So we just put a bunch of upwards facing observers in here on top of pretty much every single piston, and then load up some updatable blocks on top of the observers, update it all at once via a clock, and call it a day. So let's get started. Ooh, but they're going to have to be downwards facing observers, so we'll have to go down a couple blocks. Okay, let's see here. Oops. Come back up here. And then once we break these, they'll fire, which is fine. We're gonna break all of our current shards anyways. We're gonna come up here. Okay, so we're going to extend this like this. We're going to block this out like that. And we'll stick this here. That should power all 4 of these. So that's all good. And we do need to power this still. We can continue it out on this side. Oh shoot, I don't have any more repeaters. Time to go back to the base. Hey, here we go. So we'll create a timer for it back here when we're done, but for right now... Ow! So we have all of these wired up, except for the bottom one. Oh, my display settings are slightly weird. Let me fix that quickly. As we can see here, all of our important pistons are firing. We might have to remove one of those just to make sure that all of our crystals are actually dropping. I want to remove as few as possible though, just so if best case scenario, I can come back in and pickaxe mine these. All right, we've put a little bit of thought into it, and I think I know how we're going to end up getting a 2-hour clock. I can make a 12-minute clock, and then I can make it so that it cycles 10 times before the clock actually activates. So let's quickly build that up. I might have to go into creative quickly in order to build it, but we're going to try that out and see if we can't come up with anything really useful. 2 hours will be more than enough so that we can harvest this 12 times a day. And then if we can set up 2 of these within a chunk loader, we'd be able to harvest about 30 geodes 12 times a day, which should net us a fair amount of shards. Currently I have to go down and check how many shards we have in the chest there, but we'll check that in a moment. Okay, let's build this up. What happened to the other comparators? I have to go back to the base. Oh crap, I need to go back to the base and grab pistons. Is there something here? Nope. Boop, 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 boop. 8 is enough. Pop back to the crystal farm. Nah, we'll go back to the base for it. Oops. Sand, gravel. since we're going to be waiting anyways, may as well mine these all by hand. Okay, so working backwards. This, and then come down like this. And here we go. This is already filled up with our deep slate. This one I just need 29. Okay, and then this should swap and then hold itself there. Dump all my cobblestone, couple deep slate back in here. While we test that, quickly go out here. Remove all these. I didn't actually get the 2-hour timer set up before I had to go to work, so now we're just trying to mine out all the extra crystals. Alright, so just from a fortune mining session, just see what that looks like in our chests. Actually, I think just going down the water stream is faster. Okay, so 12 stacks. It's not bad, it's like 6 stacks per harvest with a pickaxe. Okay, so we came over to the creative world to do a little bit of testing, and it turns out we actually don't need tinted blocks, we just need some form of filler block. That makes a big difference. Pretty much means we can build this as soon as we start building ourselves some jack-o'-lanterns. The shulker killers, the shulker loader is going to be insane, but we'll get there. Well, we didn't actually need to get all of these crystals for tinted glass because we can just use a solid block. But that being said, at least we got this set up entirely, and I'm going to AFK it, see how many we can get. I'm going to quickly check what our stock is at. And then we'll check back in the morning and see how many times we got harvests. See you in the morning. Well, the creepers standing all over everything is a little bit concerning. Especially given that I feel like that's all pretty well lit up. Editor Cactus here, pointing out the irony of Live Cactus thinking he knows what's well lit up. Let's get our knockback sword here. Get rid of these creepers standing on top of my redstone. It's actually absurd how many mobs are down there. I was gonna say, now we should burn. And we'll quickly try and bait the rest of these mobs. Do I have any torches? 59. Right in the middle of my inventory. This poses an interesting quandary of where in the heck are they spawning? Ooh, how far are we away from a harvest? I should actually go and check that. Because it looks like it should be pretty close. Ooh, hello. Something's wrong. We were AFK for 8 hours and nothing got harvested. It's really interesting that things were spawning in there. So it would have to actually be the reverse. It'd have to be all the items filtering back. So once this empties, which will happen pretty shortly, speed that process up so I can see what's going wrong here. Is it because I shouldn't be using a monostable circuit with this? I should be taking a solid output from the comparator. Okay, so it's all the items need to be moved back right now. There's never a change in delay. There's never a change of state. Maybe a 0 tick pulse would go, but it just seems like there's not a long enough state change in the comparator. Well, that's really frustrating. Okay. Time to fix that. Okay, let's try that. There we go. And then it resets. Okay. That is exactly what we wanted, what we needed. And then we're going to have to go in and see what crystals immediately block it. 3, 6, 9. Oh my god. Thank god we don't actually need these. I'm going to find out if we can chunk load this right now. We're back. The correct answer is no. Also, I just realized my camera's going to be dark as hell for those clips. Whoops. The correct answer is no. We cannot chunk load this. So, every 2 hours of AFKing, we'll get 23 shards, roughly. Which means the more efficient way of doing this is to fortune mine them. I just had a lot of budding geodes, or budding amethysts, so I was like, I want to take advantage of them. Yeah, because like already right there, I've gotten significantly more than I ever would have with actually harvesting them, so... Logic dictates it's not a good idea to harvest them with a timer. I mean, like, sure, if I was going AFK overnight, we could harvest them with a timer. But in reality, the fortune pickaxe is going to be better every time. As we found out last night, we don't actually need tinted glass for that farm to work. We just need a solid block. Tinted glass is mostly so you could look into the farm, and for appearance sake, I would imagine. Well, we built a bunch of redstone, we set up a bunch of pistons, and now we're only going to be able to use it for an AFK session. Which is... like, I guess useful? Because, so in reality, what I could do, I could set up another one of these piston arrangements, again, over at this geode here, and potentially this geode here, and kind of stand in the middle of all three while I'm AFK at night, and mine all 3 geodes at the same time. I think that would probably be the most optimal setup. It looks like we're also kind of passively farming glow squid in the distance there. So that's kind of funny. All right, let's yeet these into the crystal and we'll see how much of a growth we got. So we were averaging about 6 stacks when we were doing incomplete harvests before. So we'll see what a total harvest, except for the pistons, looks like. Looks like it's going to be about the same. 3, 6, 9... 12, sorry, 3, 6, 12, 15, 18 stacks. Yep, pretty consistent 6 stacks for mining with fortune. That's all good. That's good to know. So, like, we'll set up an AFK timer for this. I'm gonna go ahead and break the timer for right now. I guess I could put a lever in between both of these blocks and power them simultaneously. And then... do I have sticks? Yeah. Lightning rods, comparators, string. Let's actually take the comparators out of there. Same thing with the redstone torches. And soul sand would be the one that we haven't looked through yet. Can you make a lever out of cobbled deep slate? No. Really? Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna go back to the base. Seems silly just to grab a lever. I wish levers had a texture that sat slightly higher in the box so it didn't hide behind the number that you had. There we go. That stops both timers, and we can just move on from here. Like I said, this is actually more efficient if we mine them by hand, so... yeah, let's go ahead and get out of here. That being said, let's go ahead and wrap up the video there. Thank you everybody for popping in for today's adventure. Frivolous though it may have been, I do admit that we learned a lot about amethyst harvesting. Amethysts have to be harvested by a player or by a piston while the player is present. Amethysts will only grow with random tick, which means the player has to be present in order to influence amethyst growth. If you got really, really lucky and you didn't want to harvest amethyst manually and you found like 4 or 5 geodes all together, you know, all those circumstances are met, you could set up the piston arrangement pretty similar to what we did or whatever you think is going to work best for your specific needs. And then have the player load all 5 geodes or 4 or 5 geodes at the same time. Then you could influence the rates to be about 2 stacks per 2 hours. So you'd be getting 33% efficiency, but you know, if you're AFK, you're at work, you're sleeping, whatever it is you might be doing, 33% is better than 0% efficiency. So there is that option. Quite difficult to set up and a little bit cost efficient in terms of, or inefficient in terms of what we had to put into the build in order to get, you know, 32 amethyst shards out of it every 2 hours was kind of ridiculous, but at least now we have a mined out amethyst and we can just immediately go in and grab shards anytime we want. It wasn't a total loss, and if you think so, leave a like on the video, leave a comment detailing, you know, what's your biggest frustration with tinted glass? Should it be more accessible? Do you even use it in your builds? And if you really like the video and you like what we're doing, stay prickly people, and go and click that subscribe button down below. I will catch you in the next video.